Hi, this is Leonard Smith from Sense Memory, and tonight we're going to explore my small but very interesting collection of leathers and oud. So let's snap that leather whip and get started. Leather is a very interesting group or note in fragrance. It's considered usually masculine, but oftentimes it's been used in some very famous women's perfumes, such as, well, a few that we'll talk about here. But let's begin with a really classic leather from Austria, and it's called These 10, and this is just a beautiful, beautiful scent. It can be a little sharp, a little challenging, but it is just great. Now, this has been around forever. It was considered a favorite by Marlene Dietrich in the 30s, and then later in the 1950s, it was worn by James Dean. It was created in the 20s, and it is just really one of my absolute favorite leathers. Next up, we have created for women, but works very well on men, is a Cuir de Lancôme. This is a gorgeous scent. Sweeter than most, I would say. It has a kind of sweetness to it that is very intriguing, but still a gorgeous scent for both men and women, and it's really beautiful, beautiful bottle. As you can see up there, you can see it better there. It really is a gorgeous bottle. Next up, from the house of Versace, and Versace L'Homme, an eau de toilette. This is really interesting from, I believe, the 80s, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm making any mistakes, I'll put a little note up there. But this one is definitely a powerhouse leather, and not many people would probably enjoy it that much today, but I certainly do, since I like collecting and looking back to some of the classics of the past. So that's a beautiful fragrance from the house of Versace. Next up, we have just one of my absolute favorites of all time is Dior Homme. This has a beautiful leather scent in it. It's often compared to the inside of a woman's handbag, with the scent of lipstick in there, but it's made for men, and it is supremely wearable, and as I've said before, a classic from this very inception. It's a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. Next in my list, we have one of the very first leathers I ever bought, and that is a great beauty from the House of Chanel, from L'Exclusives line, and that would be Cuir de Russie, and this was created in the 20s by Ernst Beau. Cuir de Russie was inspired by the romance between the Grand Duke Dmitri Pavlovich and Coco Chanel, and he is credited as being one of the two men who was responsible for the assassination of the mad monk Rasputin during the Russian Revolution. Then he was expelled from Russia after the revolution and became an expatriate in Paris, and fell in love with, for a very short time, with Coco Chanel, and inspired this beautiful perfume. It was said to be inspired by the smell of his beautiful Russian boots. It is an amazing fragrance, just one of the most beautiful leathers I've ever smelled, and is a classic. Next we have from the house of Rocha. This is Rocha Globe. This is a perfume that I discovered, or a cologne for men that I discovered back in the 80s, and it is really exquisite, and they still make it, and it's held up beautifully. I don't know if it's been reformulated or not, but most likely it has, and it still is a beautiful fragrance. I'd highly recommend that one. Now, This is one of the ones I really enjoy wearing. This is cabochard. This is for women. You can see it has a little bow on it, but I call that a bow tie. So here with cabochard, we have a great perfume from the 1950s that is so elegant and sophisticated and smooth. It has a real feeling of suede, beautiful suede. Slightly floral, but definitely a gorgeous, beautiful perfume for both men and for women. Now, next up we have from the house of Cerruti, Nino Cerruti's house. This is La Sante Cerruti. This is relatively recent. This is serviceable. For the price, it's a great buy, I would say. It's very inexpensive, but it's not a great leather, but if you're just getting into colognes and perfumes, you might want to try this one, just as an introduction to leather, and an inexpensive one. So it's one of my least favorite, but still I keep it and use it once in a while. Now, from the 1970s, the late 70s, early 80s, we have a real Studio 54 fragrance, and that would be Pour Louis by Oscar de la Renta. This is a gorgeous, bold, in-your-face, put it on, go dancing, sweat it out all night bomb of a perfume or cologne for men. It is just gorgeous, and I think women could rock it too. It really is a special one in my collection, and brings back a lot of memories of the old disco days. And the last one in my collection of leathers is the beautiful, exquisite creation from this year, 2014, by the house of Valentino Uomo. This is a gorgeous, beautiful scent, kind of reminiscent of Dior Homme, but this has a lot of chocolate and roasted coffee and hazelnut mixed in there with a beautiful, beautiful leather, and it's spicy and masculine and just perfect for almost any occasion in the fall or the winter. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance. So there we have my collection of leathers. Now, for the ouds, I'm afraid it's a little small and sad, but I'll tell you my story. The first time I ever heard of oud was about 2 years ago when I first got into this this collecting business of perfumes and colognes, and I saw on Amazon an oud by the house of Ferrari. So I got a little sample, and there it is. Now I tried it out. My best friend and I were together when it came, and we tried it out, but I was really hesitant about putting it on my skin because I had no idea what oud was. I was such a novice, and we were kind of scared. It was as if we were expecting it to smell like Secretions Magnifique, but thank God it didn't. This is really a lovely, very sweet oud, and as a starter, it was a great investment. I really enjoyed it. Never could find a bigger bottle than this, but it's a nice little bottle. Now the next one on my list is from L'Artisan Parfumier, and it's Oud, and it is a stunning, beautiful oud that I really enjoy wearing. And I got this, was introduced to me by Hilary Randall at Barney's in Barney's, New York, here in San Francisco, and it is really just a gorgeous, gorgeous scent. So this one I highly recommend as an oud. And finally, the third one in my list of ouds comes from Paris Monte Carlo, and that would be Oud Imperial. And this is a stunningly beautiful scent, just gorgeous. I can't say enough good things about this house. They are also own Ubigant and Ten Cosa Como Omo, and a beautiful, beautiful organization and great people running it. Gianluca and Elisabetta and their sister, whose name escapes me at the moment. Sorry about that, but they have a great organization, and all of the ingredients come from Arabia, and it's just gorgeous. And I was lucky enough to get it signed by both Elisabetta and Gianluca when I got it at the launch event here in San Francisco at Neiman Marcus. So there we have my leathers and my three little ouds, and I certainly hope you enjoyed seeing that little bit of my collection. This is Leonard Smith from Sense Memory saying, remember, wear what you love and not what they say you should like. For a more in-depth view of some of these perfumes that I've talked about here, take a look at my links below to my blog and you can read more about these wonderful perfumes.